11th. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. This morning, we'll have our County Coroner, Terry Sorensen, lead us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Terry. Just a reminder that we will take public comments. They may be submitted in person or by telephone by calling 605-882-6248 or 605-882-6297. Commissioners, do we have any conflict of interest items?
No.
Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 4, and this is action to approve the August 11th agenda.
So move. Second it.
Motion by McElhaney, second by Schwer. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is action to approve the August 4th minutes.
So move. Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by McElhaney. Discussion? None. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item number 6 is action to approve a resolution 2026-23 for the sale of a tax deed property. And I think that was the one that we did last week. So we'll look for a motion on that.
Motion to approve.
Motion by McElhaney.
Second it.
Second by Schwer. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7 also deals with that same item, and this is action to authorize the auditor to issue a quit claim deed or tax deed property sold on August 4th of 2026.
So move. Second.
Motion by Johnson and a second by McElhaney. Sorry, Commissioner Gable, we'll get you in there. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion, possible action to authorize the chair to sign a contract for temporary release of a county lien. This is the Mr. Paul Larson. He testified last week, I believe, and get our state's attorney up here.
Actually, Commissioner Johnson owes everybody donuts next week.
Big time. It rang twice.
Is it from Mr. Donut or where's it gonna be from?
Creamfield Donuts is what that is.
I thought it turned off.
Yeah.
It is.
Apparently you don't. Allison, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so we did talk to Mr. Larson about that. He sent me an email. I requested some documentation to follow up because I want to make sure that we're not ruining the lender's ability, especially if we're going to collateralize our lien using that house. I have not received that back, one of which would be a consent from the lender for us to collateralize our lien. In addition, I was kind of caught off guard last week and hadn't had the opportunity to investigate. There have been no payments made on this lien. Some of the county aid stuff had gone to collections. And so based on that, it is my recommendation that we do nothing with this at this point, and that we do not approve for release of that lien.
So we have a recommendation to not approve the request to release the lien. Take action on that. Do we need to?
No.
I think, Mr. Chair, I think we can just not take action on the agenda item as it's written.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Allison. We'll move on to item number 9, and this is monthly reports. We'll begin with the Director of Equalization, Shauna Constant.
Morning,
Shauna.
Morning.
I don't have too much to report. The appraisers are still out doing the lake reappraisal. We are conducting interviews, Natalie and I, today for the appraiser assistant position. Hopefully we can get somebody in and started soon. We are getting ready to start taking applications for flooded farm, which are due November 1st. And then tax exempt property applications are due November 1st. Every 5 years, we have to send out applications to every tax exempt entity, including churches, cemeteries, things like that. That happens to be the 5th year this year. So we'll start a little early and get them out to make sure everything gets returned. And then start working on all of that stuff in November.
Progress. All right.
Progress.
Thank you. Thank you. Slowly
you.
but surely, right?
Yep.
Appreciate it, Shauna. Thank you. All right, let's go on to the auditor's report. Brenda,
All right, good morning, everyone.
good morning.
So the 2027 provisional budget is done. It will be sent to the paper, so it will be published. I will be getting that as to you as well. We'll start budget hearings in September. So September 1st will be our first budget hearing, and then the end of September, since we don't meet the last Tuesday, the 29th, because it's the fifth Tuesday, we will adopt it on September 22nd. And I will also be receiving the centrally assessed values later in August here, and that will be allowing me to start the calculation of the property tax levies for taxes payable in 2027. Also working with ADP to get that up and running and implemented. I have been on one call where we extracted some information, and we have weekly meetings with them. So kind of moving along with that. Other than that,
Good.
that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the auditor? None? All right, move on to the coroner's report. Good morning, Terry.
Morning. How are you guys?
Good. Good.
Yeah, sheet 48 should have them on desk. Leave. There should be two sets, one from 25 and one from 26. The second page, or the one for 2025, is what I'll start with. You guys all got them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is just our year end for 2025. For 25, we investigated 87 deaths here in Codington County. Of the 87 cases, 62 of those deaths were male and 25 were female. Of the 87 cases, 82 were white in race, 2 were black in race, and 3 were Native American in race. Of the 87 cases, 68 were determined to be ruled as a natural death. 6 were determined to be suicide. All the suicides were with firearms this time. Of the 87 cases, 13 were determined to be accident. Out of those 87 cases, none of them were homicide. 87 cases, 0 were also determined to be undetermined deaths, which means we can't come up with a cause. So luckily, we didn't have any of those. Of the 87 cases, 83 were in the Watertown city limits and 4 cases were in the county. 2 cases were in rural Henry, 1 case was in rural Florence, and 1 case was in rural Watertown. For the year 2025, the youngest deceased we were called to was 20 years old and the oldest was 98 years old. And we ordered 1 autopsy for the year of 2025, which the county paid for that one. And we used 36 body bags and used the county cooler 24 times. So that's just showing you where we're at for 2025 and going in 26. We're in the first and second quarter. We've dealt with 40 deaths so far, so we're about on pace for the same. Of those 40 cases, 25 deaths were male and 15 were female. 39 were white, 1 was Hispanic. 29 were determined to be ruled as a natural death. 2 were determined to be suicide. 9 were determined to be accident. And again, 0 homicides and 0 undetermined for the cause and manner of death. And 39 were in the city and 1 was in rural Florence. 29 years old was our youngest and 95 was our oldest. We ordered 4 autopsies this year on the first and second quarter. Those are all paid by the county. We've used 19 body bags so far and the cooler 13 times. So that's kind of where we're at. So it looks like we're on pace to match 2025.
Okay. Any questions for Terry on his report? Thank you very much for those numbers, Terry. It's gives us a good idea about what your office does. Yeah, we appreciate the work you do. So thank you very much.
Commissioner, Running chair truck, do we want to
Yeah,
go over the budget?
we are. Yeah. Yep. Terry, let's go ahead and go over your county
Okay.
budget. Go ahead and just kind of highlight those items.
This
go
year
down.
or for next year, I requested 32,000 for labor, just because our numbers are going up. So I just wanted to make sure we had enough to cover, myself, and then I have the two deputies. And in some cases, we have to go with two of us on a call. There's cases where, we can't, like the law enforcement's too busy to help us or whatever, then I need a second person to help. So that's why I bumped that up. The OSI, Medicare, Workman's Comp, that's up to the auditor. I'm not sure anything about that at all. So personal services is at 35,000. And then our insurance, professional services, that's anything that comes in that we need to do for licenses, sometimes equipment. The corner rental, the 3,000, that is for our storage, for the cooler. That is currently at Crawford's Funeral Home in the back garage. It is not located in their business. It's in a back garage. I have it like a 10 by 10 area.
Mhm.
Corner supplies, I budgeted 12,000. We're gonna be needing 4 more body bags again. Right now, the cheapest I'm seeing it is about $50 a bag, so that's gonna be up there. And then the 15,000, the 429 is just in case we need other equipment. Some of our stretchers are gonna need to be replaced, and the PD is be going to new radios. We're gonna need to match that. They're going encrypted, so we're gonna have to get our radios that are gonna be encrypted, so I'll be budgeting. In here I did for 3 radios. I did find the NP30, which is gonna be about $3,700 compared to the 11,000 that the main radios are. So we'll be able to buy something a little less, doesn't have all the things on, but it'll work fine for what we do. And then total expenditures is 56,000, so total budget will be like $91,250. I did not ask for any pay increase for our department at all this year. We have enough equipment and stuff that we gotta buy. So
I guess the question that I would have, Terry, on looking at your coroner supplies, you basically doubled that over 2026 for
because of the radio.
2027. Your radios is going to come out of that line.
Yeah,
Okay.
I might, at the end of this year, I might have enough to buy 1 radio, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
But yes, that's why.
And the radios that you're getting, I guess the question I have is you're asking for 3,
Yes.
and what's the purpose of 3 radios?
3 portables so that we can
Okay.
carry them. I have myself and the 2 deputies, so we each
Okay.
have a radio.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Gable, go ahead.
Yeah, just on your line 422, professional services, I see we've spent over $14,000 this year. What kinds of things are those expenses?
And you're gonna have to help me on this one.
We'll pull it and let you know and see what check history showed for all of the, what his claims were.
Guessing that would probably be like autopsies and consultant services
Yeah.
with forensic.
Stuff, I'm sure
Okay.
that's what it is, and blood tests and drug tests and stuff. That's usually
Okay.
what it is.
All right, thank you.
I can do a check history and email
Yeah,
that out.
I'd be curious. Yeah, thank you.
Terry, I think I would like to, you and I have talked about the radios, and
Yep.
the police department's intent is to go to encryption sooner rather than later. Well, I shouldn't speak on behalf of the PD, but
Sure.
being the 911 guy, that's kind of the intent of the radio system. So when we're talking about upgrading radios for different agencies, we want to make sure that they also have the ability to go to that as well. So I don't know that you would necessarily need 3 radios.
Okay.
So, at $3,000 a piece, maybe maybe you do one or two this next year and then get a third the year following or something like that. It's gonna be a ways out yet. So I don't know
Not
that
a
there's
problem.
necessarily a need to, so you might want to look at reducing that line just a little bit to help save some costs there. Okay,
At this point, we have no portable radios
yeah,
at all. So. we're
yeah.
going
And I
to
don't
see-
know what the need is for a portable radio for you.
Well, here's what triggered most of it. We were on a call up in the Northeast area, just a routine death at a house. And we left, me and one of my guys, and we were driving down 14th between Broadway and Maple. And all of a sudden, something hit our vehicle and it sounded like a gunshot. And we didn't know what to do. So we went ahead, stopped. I called on the radio to dispatch and let them know that something happened. I don't know if it's a gunshot yet, but start some units. We get out of the vehicle and we're looking around. That's what got me, was that we weren't sure exactly what happened. We had no more communications with the dispatch at all. They were trying to get a hold of us. We were outside of our vehicle. We couldn't hear them. So yeah, I think it's something that we need to do.
Mhm.
You know, even if it's just one, whatever, I think when we're out of our vehicle, honestly, we need to have a radio.
Well, I think I would be okay with one radio at this time
Yeah.
until we make the transition, and then moving forward,
And
if you
that's-
find that your other deputy coroners need radios too, but I don't think they need radios.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Because they're going to have the bus, right? If they respond to the scene, aren't they going to be
Yeah.
driving the van?
Yeah, they'll have to have.
Do you have a radio in the van?
We have one, yes.
Okay.
Yep. But
So,
when we're out of the vehicle, that one,
Yeah.
obviously we can't hear. So
so I think I'd be okay, commissioners, with one radio for this next year, and then look at maybe purchasing two more if you have the need for it after
Okay.
we make that transition on the radio system, but that'll save you $6,000.
yeah, absolutely it will.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
No,
All right. Thank you, Terry.
you're welcome.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
sir.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. Is there any other budget requests we need to review right now this morning?
Yeah, for several.
Okay.
The commissioners, commissioner contingency and court appointment.
Appointed to term.
And then we also have conservation.
Okay. Commissioner Gable, you want to take the lead on that?
Yeah, okay. Let me just hit the commissioner one. Let me pull that up here. Okay. Yeah, hopefully you can see that on the screen. I know for where you're sitting in the chamber, you might not be able to see it very well. So I guess the big things are commissioner salary. I'm proposing that we 0% pay raise. I know I'm not going to be in office next year, so that'd be your decision ultimately at that first meeting. And then the other things, just percentage increases according to what was suggested by the auditor. And let's see, the other increases would be professional services. So that includes the HR consultant. Also, I'm suggesting that we might want to hire somebody to help us get our county ordinances online and kind of user friendly, because right now it's very hard for county residents to get a hold of the ordinance, our county ordinances. And then the other items, current expenses, that's going up a bit to account for IT, ADP. That would also be our NACO and our SDACC dues. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Yeah. And also I should say on the supplemental retirement and the dental insurance, that's just the assumption. Those figures are based upon if everybody does the supplemental retirement, and if all the commissioners were to do, say, a dental plan with for the family plan. So it'd probably be a little less in reality on those two. So questions on that one?
Mr. Chair, I have some questions.
Yeah,
here.
go ahead, Commissioner Johnson.
First off, let's back up to the employer dental insurance. You know, that's last year we expended $1,000 and now we got it jumped up to 4138. What's the reason for that?
Yeah, just like I said, so so suppose, I'm not gonna be in office, but if all 5 commissioners were to take the family plan, that would be the employer portion.
Okay, then
So
the other question I have is on the commissioners publishing. And like the amount expended this year has been 13,000. We expended 22,000 and you got it bumped up to 35,000. Now, is that where you're talking about putting the ordinances online?
No, I mean, that, hopefully that'll actually be less, but that's just, that's not an increase from last
Okay,
year.
what's
So that
included in this one?
whatever we
So
publish.
just for clarification, 423 is at currently, Commissioner Johnson, 35,000.
Yeah.
And so there would be no increase. It would stay the same as it is this year. So far, we've expended about 13.3 in that line. We're about halfway through the year. So if if you double that, you're up to 27,000. So we're not too far under that 35, but depending on how
But
many.
I mean, if we feel comfortable, we could reduce that. I mean, if that's what, if that's the desire, I don't see yeah, it's something that's a little hard to predict. But the other thing was, yeah, I reduced the travel a little bit because it didn't look like we used as much for that. It's hard. I'm thinking it would just be mostly within the state or conventions for the SDACC stuff. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry I interrupted Commissioner Johnson. He was asking more questions.
Okay, on the commissioners' other current expenses on that line, which is 429, that goes from 109 to 121. Okay,
Yep.
is that, explain that one.
Okay, let me pull up okay, that's covering IT. So we're the ones who pay for a lot of our IT services. So, our managed service provider. So that's gonna, just anticipating an increase in that cost. NACO dues, SDACC dues, and clerk as well. So, if I'm not mistaken, am I missing anything, Brenda, off the top of my head? I think
No,
that's-
there's a few other random sort of charges,
Yeah.
but they're the
But the-
bigger ones that, yes, that are.
and ADP. So I just took the number. It was 28 and some thousand for an annual fee for ADP. That might come out a bit less. I know they gave us kind of a starter deal on that, but I don't think we've paid that bill yet. We did agree to the contract. So
Commissioners,
that
just a couple of other things to think about is with the new jail and with the new building that we have down for Codington Connects and IT issues and that sort of thing, we could see an increase in that line. So I think it's probably a good idea to budget just a little bit more until we really get a good idea about where we're going to end up with the cost on those IT projects.
The other
So that's-
question I have is in regards to putting the ordinance online. Now, sitting on the planning and zoning, we've communicated, we talked about different things that we could or we shouldn't put online. And it was recommended that we do not put our ordinances online by the people involved in the planning. Simply if somebody wants to find out what an ordinance says, they can contact the office here and probably have it explained better than reading it online. Just a thought here. I just don't know if we need to do that or not.
Well, I'd like to add to that if I could, Commissioner
ahead.
Johnson. There's been some talk on that. I think it is a good idea to put those ordinances online so people have an idea what our ordinances say specifically and how they're worded. The real issue, and I think I can kind of go back to Commissioner Gable's comments, is that by having somebody manage that, we need to make sure that those ordinances are updated and current. And that's where we get into the issue of putting ordinances online. And I think that that's been the big argument is that current ordinance that's online, does that match what is currently in the books here at the courthouse? So by doing that and having somebody maintain that, I think that could be a good thing. I think it lends itself to transparency, so I would say it's something that we should probably look at doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I add to that, Mr. Chair? So
Yeah, go ahead.
that's basically, yeah, that's the argument. And I think most of us have gotten questions like, where do I find the ordinances? Well, you got to call, the zoning office. It can get you a copy, and that's a little bit of extra work. It's a little less transparent. The problem is, and I understand, that the zoning office is trying to protect us. There is a statute on the books that says if you do have your ordinances online, counties have to have them updated. So what I think we can do is we can still publish the actual PDF of the thing, the actual ordinance, which has all the strike throughs and all the edits on it. And that is the accurate thing that can be just there as a PDF document. Meanwhile, I would think it'd be nice for the public to have something that would be easy to navigate. Like if you go to the South Dakota legislature's website, it's very easy to navigate the state statutes. Statutes are a little bit hard to understand sometimes as well, but it is transparent. So it would be great if we could do something like that. The process of getting that set up is you need some expertise to do that. And if you look at the state legislature's website, you'll see what I mean. It's very easy to navigate, but it takes some effort to get that set up. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I realize that, I'm not going to be in office, but I thought it would be a good idea to budget that so somebody could take the ball and run with it in the next year. So that was my thought.
Right. Thank you, Commissioner Gable.
The only thing that I'm referring to, I guess, when I go through this, is it a need or is it a want?
Mm-hmm.
And, this is a pretty good sized budget that we're looking at this year. And I'm just concerned about the people that are paying the taxes and paying for all of these things. So just trying to be frugal.
Yeah, well, when it
That's-
comes to our pay raises, we can cut some out of that as well. So that'll be good.
Which is I'm proposing a 0% pay raise in that regard. So, okay. All right.
Right.
So yeah, I realize, stuff goes, the insurances and things like that. And chances are people are not, I don't think all the commissioners are likely to take, say, the dental insurance. But it's budgeted that way in case they do. So, and then, so are you ready to move on to contingency, commissioner's contingency?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay.
Unless, is there any more comments from anybody on that? No? Okay.
I rest
think
my
that's
case.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Commissioner
there's
Gable.
that page there's the total there, so you can see the difference. So roughly, less than a $22,000 increase. Commissioner's contingency, I'm proposing increasing that by $20,000. Here's why. So with the court-appointed attorney's budget, you'll see in a second, I'm proposing to reduce that sum because now we have this defense attorney assistant position that we hired that should shave off some of those costs. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like. Possibly between now and when we actually pass the budget in September, we might have some better visibility on that. With a few months under our belt, but we'll have to see. But so just to kind of hedge the bets a little bit, adding a little bit to commissioner's contingency, and then so that's the rationale with that. Mostly because this is to deal with those unpredictable things that crop up.
Yeah.
And that so that's basically the idea there. Let me go to court-appointed attorney. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so everybody see that? So with that one, I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but last year, so for 2026, we budgeted 890,000. As you know, this is a very hard budget line to predict. And you can see if you look at the history, say of 2024, 2023, pretty dramatic history. But so I'm proposing we budget $100,000 less in anticipation and hopefully it'll be even less. It'll come out even a little bit less than that in anticipation that the public defender assistant position is going to help us shave off some of those costs. So So kind of a, a little bit more on commissioner's contingency, $100,000 less here. So that's what I'm trying to aim for with this budget. Okay.
Mr. Chair, the only comment that I would make is that you can cut $100,000 out of it, but it's still out of hand, plain and simple. It's ridiculous that we pay that much for court-appointed attorneys. I just don't think it's, it bothers me that we have to pay that much.
Mhm.
And that,
Lot of money.
yeah, Mr. Chair, if Mr. Commissioner Johnson makes a good point, I mean, that's what we're all frustrated with. That's why we set up that position for the public defender's assistant. So and hopefully this will come out even less, and maybe in the next month or so we might have some visibility on how that's working. But it's I think we need to expect, we all know that this budget's unpredictable. We all know that court-appointed attorneys can be very expensive. So
Like you said, hopefully that new position that we just created will help offset some of that. So.
yeah, and that's what we're anticipating by reducing the budget at least some. So
Mhm. Okay.
okay, and then let's go to the jail build. I think that's the last one.
Still conservation.
We don't have
Oh,
the
is that,
jet.
oh, you don't have that handy. Okay, I'll cover that. I can cover that next week.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Go on to soil conservation.
soil
I
conservation.
guess we can do that.
That's probably me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was just the amount that they came in here and requested from you. So it's been added into the budget.
Did we get a formal request from them yet?
Yes, Deanna was sent a formal request for that. So
All right. Any questions on that budget line? Any questions at all? No? All right, Commissioner Gable, thank you very much for the rundown on those. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right.
did you want to hear on the coroner now? I pulled up his budget, what his expenses are in those line items. So you interested in that or not? Or would
Just,
you
I'm
rather
just curious,
me email it?
Mr. Chair, just real quick, the kinds of things that the professional services line, it's always good to have a good understanding of that if you don't mind.
Okay, professional services. Well, I'll have to go back and get that one because I went to the second page because I thought you were looking at the 429, anyway, so in the rentals, that is the rent of his location that he is at, his coroner supplies. A lot of that, it was the Microsoft Defender, those charges in there, and then his Visa charges are in that under his supplies, so anything that he's purchasing. And then other current expenditures, right now it's postage, and then the EMC insurance comes out of there for his property. You want me to go back and look at that other one, professional services? I'd have to pull that up.
I think that gives an idea, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Are you good with moving on, Commissioner Gable?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go on down to item number 11. This is action to approve the auditor's account with the treasurer and note monthly register of deeds fees.
Okay, so you have that, the monthly settlement at the end of July, cash on hand in the treasurer's office and all the different accounts. And then and Lee, I guess I didn't get that email to you. That was just finished up here. The auditor's account with the treasurer, it shows the custodials down on the bottom, the schools, townships, cities and towns, and the investments. All of those items are in there with an ending balance of 45,970,889.91. And the register of deeds fees for the month of July was $46,604.90.
For motion to approve.
So moved. Second it.
Motion by McElhaney, second by Commissioner Schwer. Any discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12 is action to approve a resolution 2026-24 combining precincts for the 2026 general election. It's a lot of 20s in there.
Yeah, correct. So you have that in your packet as well. It's pretty much what we've done in the past. I am going to combine a few more, I guess, that would make sense. Kind of went back and took a look at how many people have voted in those different precincts, just trying to streamline it better. I am also going to combine Dexter and Fuller Florence since they're in the same location. And the reason that I can do that is most generally when there's a commissioner race, we have to separate them because they're two different districts. So just trying to be a cost savings to the county and streamline this process. And we'll see how this goes. If it becomes too overwhelming for some of these that I added in, like B2 into with B3, and then D2 in with C2, where typically they were separated out. So we'll see how it goes, but thought I would give it a try to streamline this.
Okay, we'll need an action to approve.
So moved.
We'll take Johnson's motion to approve, and we'll do a second by Commissioner Gable. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13 is action to approve abatement applications.
None today?
14, claims for payment.
Yes, you have a packet of those.
And it's a thick,
Quite a few. Of course, elections, workers, precinct and night workers, all that is in there. So that added to our claims. There's quite a bit of jury duty going on. Nothing else really jumps out. Our court appointed attorney, and I did give you that where we are at currently with court appointed attorney. I don't know if I can find sheet. We were getting right down there. We're gonna have to start doing some commissioner contingency, I'm afraid, after this month, because we probably won't have enough left in there to cover that, or my sheet line. Anyways, I did include that with yours, so that's always kind of a concern. And our clerk, third quarter clerk came due this month. Highway, there was a double payment on that, so I took one of those out, which reduced their total amount. I think I wrote that in there for you guys. So the end amount is, I just found that other one I was looking for. $1,841,730.24. The state pass-through amount, though, is $779,756.62. We did need to add in one more. You have that, the JJRI for the Boys and Girls Club got missed, and so that amount was $7,141.25. So the grand total for county claims is $1,069,114.87.
Move to approve.
Second.
motion by McElhaney, second by Gable to approve the claims for payment. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, commissioners.
We also have 911.
Okay, go ahead and take that.
That a monthly amount that will be transferred over to the city of Watertown for 911 fees for the month of June is $157.36.
And just for the record, so it's in the minutes there that I will be recusing myself from this motion.
Move to approve.
Motion by Johnson, second by McElhaney. Any further discussion? See none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Action to approve automatic budget supplements, emergency
Yes.
management, $115,000,
Right.
$115,006.60.
The amount that I had before was 115,043.09. That was not the correct amount. I want to make sure that that was with another, we took it out of the check history. That was with a small other fee in there of $2.44. So the actual amount that I want to do a budget supplement is $115,006.60.
So moved.
Motion
Second
by
it.
Gable, second by Schwer. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Action to approve personnel changes.
None today.
Travel requests.
Today.
Public notices, a possible quorum of commissioners could be in attendance at this week. Commissioners, do you have anything on your calendars?
Tomorrow's the
Sioux Valley.
Sioux Valley quarterly meeting
Correct.
at
Yes.
Hayti.
Okay, so that'll be in Hayti. We could have a
Bryant.
quorum there.
What's Brian?
I think your agenda, I'll get you that. I thought it was laying on your, but yes, it's in Bryant. Hamlin County is sponsoring though, or they're the
Is that-
host.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
Okay.
It's tomorrow. Could have a quorum there. Anything else that you can think of we have a quorum at this week? Okay, all right. Seeing none, let's go ahead and move on to old business. Number 19, anything for old business?
Just real quick, Mr. Chair, just to let folks know, on the jail project, we are with Tegra's recommendation, we're looking at a commissioning agent that's to look at some of the, that's a kind of a QC expert to look at, some of the mechanical systems such as HVAC within the new facility, making sure that they're up to spec and so they recommend that as a good measure. So that would probably come out of our owner's contingency or FF&E part of the budget for the project. So what they're doing right now is to get a few quotes. So they're doing their own RFP, and the plan is to get a few quotes. So we don't really have to publicly RFP, do an RFP because it's services. On the other hand, we do want to keep the competitiveness. So they're going to reach out to some qualified companies and get some quotes on that. So just to let folks know that that's a thing that's going on.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner Gable. Anything else for old business? Anything for new business? Anything for new business? Seeing none? We'll go ahead and move on to the open. This is the opportunity for the public to make comments. We do have a gentleman here. Good morning.
good morning.
Come on up and state your name and the reason you're here.
Yes, it's just me.
I guess so. Yeah,
It's on.
Hello.
it is on. Yeah,
So I'm James Simmons.
James.
Thanks for having me back. I had a few things I wanted to discuss, I guess, a few concerns. First, is I travel for work, so I don't get to come up here very often, but I tried to call in a couple weeks ago. And the number listed here, like I tried to call the number and it just rings with no answer. And like when I was coming up here before a few months ago, this is Han, you had given me a number to call and say, hey, just call this number and it'll go through. And that one worked. It came through live and you answered it. I didn't have that number readily available, so I just called the one on the agenda. This was like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And it just rang and nobody answered. So I'm just wondering, like, does it work? Can we
Yeah,
test it?
We'll have to test it and make sure, but yeah, that's the
Yeah.
number it's supposed
And
to.
then like, are people supposed to call in live?
Okay.
Or like call ahead of time and leave a message? Then like, do we just play the message during open public comments? It's like, what's the protocol there? So anyway, so that's that. The other concern I had is on the radios that the sheriff is looking into. A couple thoughts on that. I understand it's supposed to work off like a cellular backup. So like no matter in theory where they go, they should have coverage. Now I work in an industry where we also have two-way radios pretty extensively. And we've also tried using radios that have a cell backup and we have not had very good luck with them. They don't work as well as advertised. The people at the time signed up with a 3-year commitment and now we're 2 years into it and we want to throw them against the wall. So I would just advise, like, before you sign a purchase agreement, maybe do a pilot to test and make sure that they actually work as advertised. And then the other issue that I wanted to bring up with the radios is really the question around the need for encrypted communication. I suppose I would challenge that. I know so Sheriff Howell brought up that having encrypted radios would benefit officer safety. And that sounds valid, but I would just challenge that. Is there really like a historical trend of issues that we're trying to address, or is this a solution seeking a problem? I would argue that there's probably not a real need to go to encrypted communication for officer safety or for public safety. I think it's just a cool, shiny new thing. And hey, let's get this grant money and spend it. And granted, it's grant money. It's not coming out of the county here, but like it's still, 6 digits of federal taxpayer money. So maybe we don't need to spend it. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, like, some people might consider it a bit hypocritical that the same law enforcement department that wants, a sophisticated surveillance system like an ALPR, license plate reader system, also wants encrypted communication so nobody can hear their own communication. Some people might call it hypocritical. I certainly wouldn't, but you could see how people might take that opinion. So I would recommend I would request that the sheriff comes up and provides a bit more of a robust explanation justifying why they really need such a system and why they need encrypted communication. And then the last issue I wanted to bring up, and I'll get out of your hair, is something the state's attorney mentioned last week. So I think she was addressing some budgetary questions that were brought up, and in that she mentioned something about having, addressing these habeas cases. And from my understanding, what a habeas case is, what it is somebody who's imprisoned brings forth a legal challenge to the legality of their imprisonment. Like, it's like a civil rights case saying I was wrongfully imprisoned. And so if we're seeing so many of those that it's causing a budget issue, that could be a concern. So I would ask the state's attorney to maybe provide a bit more detail to the community on those habeas cases. Like how many we're seeing, are we seeing an increased trend of habeas cases? Are we seeing, how are they being ruled in the end? Like, don't provide specific, personal details, but perhaps like, we're seeing X amount of percent of them rule in favor of the government and X amount ruling in the favor of the plaintiff, like, are we seeing a lot of these cases go through where people really are being found illegally imprisoned? That could be a concern. So I'd just like to understand a little bit more about that. And if she could provide like maybe a quarterly or an annual report on here's our summary of our habeas cases from the last, X amount of months, I think that'd be worthwhile to hear. So that's all I had. Thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Simmons.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Can we test that line right now, Brenda? Let's test that phone line right now and make sure that it's working. So
See, it
Um,
was beeping.
can one of you call the 605 number that's on your agenda? Okay, I'll do it. Let's see here.
Which one are you doing? The 6-2?
6248, the other one's the auditor's office. They, we see it blinking, but it doesn't seem like it rings.
Well, if it rings, that means Troy gets to buy donuts.
This is a commissioner-related task that I'm doing here, so
Oh, is that?
does not
With
qualify.
the donut rule? I didn't know there was
Okay.
exceptions.
But that's fine.
That means it's.
No,
It was just turned back.
it's ringing. I mean, I can see it flashing in front
Yeah,
of me.
this
So
is
if we had
ringing.
a,
This is red flashing here.
if
too.
we had an incoming call, that would definitely get my attention, and I've never seen that. So if somebody does want to call during the public comment, we will, let me check this other line here. 6297.
That's the auditor's
Okay.
office.
Okay, so that one,
But it did.
Okay. yeah. So Mr. Simmons, if you try and call again and I see that you're calling, we will take the call. It seems to be working on that 6248 number. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. We don't know what we don't know. If somebody can't get through, then we don't know that they're trying to call, but we appreciate that. So, all right, let's move down to commission comments. Anything for commissioner comments this morning?
Can I add now, I pulled that budget back up, what that 422 line is for his professional services?
Mhm.
Is that okay?
Go ahead.
So it looks like, Sanford Health Pathology, so a lot of those services are in there. So when he goes and takes bodies that have to be looked at or whatever, that is coming out of that budget.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else for commissioner comments? See none. I do believe we do have a need to go into executive session for the purpose of personnel this morning, requested by our treasurer's office. So,
Move to go into exec session
oh, equalization. Okay, sorry about that.
for
Second.
the reason of, what number was that?
Personnel.
Personnel, okay.
So it'd be subsection 1, SDCL 125-2, subsection 1. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are into executive session. Thank you. Do we anticipate any action to follow? No action. Thank you, everybody. Have a